Hey everybody, this is Jordan back again with PictureMonk.com, and welcome to another How I Edit video. This video series is basically just going to be me taking old raw images that I have saved up, because I have a lot of them, and just bring them into Lightroom or Photoshop and just editing them so you can see the workflow, and maybe it'll help you guys get some tips and certain things that you do to your photos and that sort of thing. I like to watch these videos on YouTube, so I figured might as well make some of my own. So let's go and get into it. First off, let me start off by saying that this is Lightroom 6 / Lightroom CC. So this is sort of the first edit that I'm doing in Lightroom CC. So it might be a little slow because apparently it's been buggy, but we'll see how it works. So this is the image right off camera, nothing done to it. First thing I need to do is kind of straighten up the horizon line. It's kind of wonky here. So I'm going to go to my lens corrections, and Lightroom has a cool little auto feature that allows it to straighten up the horizon line really easily. So you just click auto, and there it goes. It's straightened up pretty well. All right. The next thing that we're going to do is just do some basic edits. I know that I want to edit this in black and white, so I'm going to go ahead and change it to black and white. I don't like any of the colors in it. The sky is about the only good color thing in there. Just because there's no interest on the trees, it's all dead and everything like that, but I still want to try to make it a nice black and white high contrast image. So I'm going to click black and white here, and now we just have a kind of a muted gray theme going on here. So I'm going to go ahead and edit it here and just bump up the shadows. I normally start with bumping up the shadows, and it will look a bit yucky right now, but we'll take care of that. Take down the highlights just to bring back some detail in the sky here a little bit. And then I'm going to take the contrast up, or clarity, and bump that up. Kind of get that going. Now take the contrast and just make it really, really high contrasty. We'll bump up the exposure just a bit. And take the blacks and make the blacks a little bit better. There we go. So now for the tone curve, I'm going to add a little more contrast to it. So I'm going to bring down a point here, and then bring up a point here. That adds more and more contrast. I like it. It's a bit dark for me here, so what I'll do, bump up the shadows more, and let's take the highlights and back them up a bit. There we go. Like that a little bit better. Now I know I want this to be a panoramic crop, so I'm going to go in here and I'm going to crop it down to right around there, and I still want to make sure I keep the point of the reflection here, so I'm going to keep it there. Alright, I like how that works. Now I'm going to get my adjustment brush and I'm going to brighten a little bit more of this up, just to kind of spot check it here. So I'm going to take my exposure, raise it up a bit, and just paint a little bit over right there. Not hitting everything, which is good. I want to make sure that there's some dark spots in the image. There we go. Alright, so I brighten that up a bit. I might take it up just a tad bit more. Right around there. And now I'm going to get my gradient filter, and I'm just going to drag that up from the bottom. And I actually want to drag it up a pretty good ways. So take the exposure. I don't want it that bright, so I'll take it down there. But what I want to do is take the contrast and the clarity, because I really want that water to stand out. Now I want to pump it up a little bit more, the exposure, just so I can have a little bit of better reflection. Alright, there we go. Now I like the way that looks. It's a little bit darker here for me, which is fine. I don't mind it that much, but still a bit distracting, so I'm going to take the blacks and bump them up a little bit. There we go. And I am going to fix the crop just a little bit more so I can take it down. Alright, that's basically my image. I just like to do that. A really high contrast look on some of these things. If it's an image that doesn't have a whole lot of detail, and you know, the trees aren't nice and that sort of thing, you can pretty much get away with doing a nice black and white high contrast image. It's going to look well. The only thing, now looking at it a little bit while I'm talking, is I do want to sharpen it up just a little bit. And I'm just going to eyeball it. I usually do a range, a certain range that I have, but I'm going to eyeball it here to right around there. I don't want it to be too crisp, but I don't want it to look, you know, crazy sharp, but I do like the way that looks. Alright, so that's basically the image. The only other thing that I might do, and this is where snapshots come in, is I'm going to take my snapshot and I'm going to do black and white 1 so I can save that. But I'm going to do a faded look now. I did a high contrast look, now I'll do a faded look. And the way you do a faded look is, I'm just going to reset my tone curve here. The way you do a faded look is really simple. You basically just create one point right around here, and that'll get towards the blacks. And then you bring it up like that. You can kind of see how that looks. It gives a nice faded black and white. You don't want to go too crazy like that because it starts getting a little gross. But yeah, right around there. And then I'll save this one as black and white 2. So now we have this high contrast look and we have a faded look. So I like the way both those look. They both seem to portray the mood that's going on there. So thanks again for joining the How I Edit video series. I hope you enjoyed it. Look for more to come, and also visit picturemonk.com for all other things photography. And this is Jordan from picturemonk.com, and I will see you later.